I do that too. I'll listen. I'll usually have a like if I'm not talking to anybody at the time while I'm playing, then I put a Bluetooth speaker in my ear and I'm listening to podcasts usually. I'll be listening to some.
I did kind of get used to on one thing, which is if I play Battlefield, for example, or more like Battlefield 4, because Battlefield 1 and 5 has a very impressive orchestra soundtrack. You don't want to turn it off. But 4 has like kind of like non-music kind of gameplay, so I always put my Spotify on. I don't like usual Spotify, but because it's integrated very well with the PlayStation, I get my 30 weeks of recommendations thing, and then I'm listening to that while playing. So that way I kind of like listen to while playing. But like something like Long Dark, you don't do that because we need it here for one, and it has its own beautiful music. So as well. Although one thing that I mind about Long Dark and lots of other games, it makes the freaking fan in PlayStation go apeshit.
Right.
That's the one thing that I cannot wait for PS5. It's gonna be silent. Yay.
PS5, I'll wait a lot. I'll wait a lot longer. The price tag's way too much for that.
Well, not only that, they are about to actually make it more expensive. Microsoft started to do that.
Well, then I'll never buy it then. They don't have enough games on it yet, anyway.
Well, you know the worst thing about it, I don't want to really PS5 for new games as much. I want my old games working better and actually working. I literally lost capability to play Hunt Showdown. I have a 2,400 hours on it, and I can't play it even if I bought it. So, yay. So, I get it, again, the point, swapping engines, it's a doozy. The PS4 already had a problem with that game. But, again, I bought it. Why can't I play it? It's just stupid, and that is the game, the multiplayer game that I was on all the time. And I am intending to still, you know. So, I kind of had to buy it, in a way. Because also, I had a 7 days to die. There is a, oh my god, that game pisses me off. They lost license to update the game on a console. It took 5 years or something around for them to get the license back. And they were promising, oh, we will update you, because we were using a 4 years old build. And the PC build got so far from it, it was almost a different game. And they did, well, actually, now when we have it, we got the company that will port it. And, well, we kind of make it as a second game. So we didn't get updated. It got only released as a next-gen version on the PS5. And you have to buy it again. Okay. I love the game. But without PS5, I can't play the new build because they just don't.
That's bull. That's bull that they do that stuff. They just do it because they want you to buy it.
Yeah. They had for 1 month, they had like a sale for existing players that you could buy like $10 for like basically upgrading it, even if it's considered a second game. It has its own trophy list, so it is considered as a second game. But yeah, for a month, really, like seriously.
I can't imagine it being much better than a PS4, really. I mean, the graphics on here are so good to me that I can't really imagine it getting much better.
Well, to be honest, you also do play those games that, well, for I wouldn't say that they were tried so hard for us, but the Long Dark is a great example of a, you know, developer team that cares. You bought it, you should have the same experience. Basically. The only thing that is different is basically loading time. That's
the loading time. That actually would be a big deal for me, really. That's the only thing about this game I don't really appreciate is the loading screen. It kind of takes too long. But I mean, it's not the worst, you know. The game is fun enough that it's worth going through it, but.
Oh, trust me, I've been trying lots of cross-gen games. This is perfect. This game is perfect against all these. The only one that I really love, and you have to give a credit to Capcom, Resident Evil.
Resident Evil's good, yeah.
The Resident Evil Village has literally the difference of a loading screen and that it does not have the, what is it called, the race tracing. And even that was not that heavy in the next gen version. But it came in, like PS5 was already around and they didn't screw this up. The game runs amazing, it looks amazing, and it's all thanks to their porting skills plus the engine that they are using that they didn't have to took away from it. The only Resident Evil when you kind of finally feel that it's not supposed to be on this older machine is Resident Evil 4 Remake. But even that works really well for how new the game is. But yeah, you don't have that. Like I played just now some indie stuff that are unplayable. Like literally, I am a fan of the First World War simulators. So
yeah.
like I had the Verdun, Tannenberg, and now it's the Isonzo. Isonzo is unplayable, and it doesn't look even close to anything that looks good. It's just why? Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah,
like,
it's frustrating.
So yeah, that's why I basically kind of have to buy PS5 because I have like around my library says 700, around 700 games, and half of them is working as shit on this. Like it just got over updated or it just they didn't care enough. So most of my games I can't even play because it's just annoying. Because you get freezes, you get crashes, you get all this
That's
all
no fun.
the time. Exactly.
I get that here and there. I get a crash every once in a while on this one, but not very much. Like it's you know like I'd say like once out of every 3 hours it'll crash on me.
Yeah. I mean again with the long dark they even went so far that they are caring about Switch players, and let me tell you, Switch is underpowered as hell, and you can feel it. But in the same time, they just gave so much care that yeah, you can play it, and yeah, maybe it's a 30 FPS because this is actually 60 FPS on this one on a console.
Right.
Now Switch cannot handle that anymore, but that is the only letdown, literally only letdown. And I read the blog how freaking hard for them was to make this console to fucking work.
Right.
So, and yet they didn't give up on it. Like they said, they had to postpone the Tales from Far for Switch because the console would crash all the time. So instead of, well, we will not do it, they did like, oh, just give us time, we will figure it out. And they did. We don't have the last update from the Far, the Tales from Far in the Switch, but they are still keep working. So that is just amazing to me.
Yeah. I mean, this game's kind of hard. I mean, it'd be hard to really mess it up. You know what I mean? Because it's pretty rudimentary. It's a pretty basic game. It's not because of the graphics that you play it. It's I don't know. There's something about the feel of it.
Yeah, I mean, like for one, they did a regional open world, which is like that helps a lot to the games to run. So basically, like something like the Deus Ex, like what was it? I just played the zombie, right?
Right.
They had a lesser memory back then. They had to kind of make regions instead of like, but it's kind of open world, but you have to go through loading screens sometimes. So
right.
You have I don't know, this square separated, this screen, whatever. And that's the way how they did it, and it works out. Plus the fact that their art style is not just a good art style, but that helps the graphics or the memory as well a lot.
Right.
So, and in the same time, like I said with the Borderlands, it's timeless graphics. It won't suddenly be outdated because it's an art style.
Right.
Super realistic looking game. You know how we were in a PS3 or PS2 era. And
right.
Like, we are doing this realistic, and now we are laughing at it because it doesn't look realistic anymore, right? This game doesn't have to deal with that. It just has its own art style, and that's it.
Well, I think a lot of developers focus so much on graphics, which graphics can be important, but like what's more important than graphics is playability. Like how fun is the game? You know what I mean? What's the immersion like? Because like your mind, like even with this game, Long Dark, it's like it's kind of cartoony graphics. I mean, there's not a lot that goes into the graphics on this thing at all, but it's the your mind will make up the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's about how fun it is for you to play the game, and I think a lot of developers miss out on that. They try to make it too realistic, too cool looking. I mean, there's not any such thing as too cool looking, but
the best example of this is Ubisoft. You have the Assassin's Creed. They look amazing. They are accurate in many historic things. You always want to be in the world, but then you basically do a mission in this sprawling town that it looks amazing. People are acting like people, whatever. You do the mission, you pick up many collectibles that fucking Ubisoft loves to do. It's about picking stuff off of the ground. That's what I call Assassin's Creed, because you do one mission, you then spend time to, I don't know, pick stuff, maybe kill one contract. You never have to return that.
Right.
And that's exactly what I don't want from the game, because it looks nice, but the open world is basically just an excuse.
Right. Right. I do like Assassin's Creed, but I know what you're talking about too. I do know. Yeah. And it gets kind of grindy. I guess I haven't even played the latest one, but I guess the latest one they were talking about like they were putting things like you could pet the cat and things like that. Like who cares about petting a cat? Assassin's Creed is not about petting your cat. You know, like they're catering to the soy boys out there, you know.
Yeah. I'm very much behind, because I actually played the first Assassin's Creed when PS3 came out. That was a launch game, or kind of a launch third game with it. It was 2008. So I liked it again for the feel. I like medieval. I like the Plague times as well. So that was exactly perfect for me. But the most of the gameplay, you just walk. Literally, you just walk. And up until Syndicate, it is the same game over and over and over. You walk, you pick stuff.
Have you ever played
paper in a bin?
Have you ever played? You should try Black Flag. I think that was my favorite game in the franchise.
Yeah.
It is the most fun. It is absolutely
I'm now on it.
Are you?
I am literally in the middle of it, and I cannot play it more than 2 hours, because it is, well, pick up stuff, but now with both.
It's very grindy.
It's just like, I like it, but also I kind of disliked it, because I'm also one of the people who actually liked the seriousness of Desmond Miles' storyline. I like the sci-fi portion of it, because that's what made me to play it. It's a unique blend of historic and sci-fi. And the part is basically, Edward doesn't care. The sci-fi portion is, you are an employee that just messes around.
Yeah, I don't care for the. I don't care for the. I wish they didn't have the whole like employee part of it. You know, I don't like that part. I like the part where you're being a pirate. You're out there. You got a ship. You're blowing the shit out of other ships. That's fun. You know.
Yeah.
Black Flag was the beginning was very grindy, but like once you get to the point where you have a ship and things, it gets kind of fun. It gets kind of fun.
I do like I get it, but also I never was into pirate games. So like it's kind of like I see where the quality lies, but it's not made for me really.
It's not your type of immersion.
Yeah, it's more really like trying to. Because I promised my fiancée, she loves Valhalla. She is a Finnish person, born but raised in America, but she is still Finnish, and she likes the fighting stuff, and she spent so much time in Valhalla. But I'm also completing it. I cannot just start a story from the middle. So, for me, it's gonna be a long run. I have bought all the Assassin's Creed since 1, 2, Odyssey. and I'm trying to go through them. I could not stand Axios, so I kind of, yeah, I kind of had to skip that one. I will get back to it, but I skipped that one. So I had 1-3 played.
I liked Odyssey a lot. I liked Odyssey a lot too. It was pretty good. I did enjoy that one.
But I played on PS Vita. I played the handheld one, the Liberation. They remastered it with the 3 now, so you can play it on a big console. But that was their handheld, so it was made for handheld. I played it on that handheld. I still have it. I played it. I love it. But now I'm on the 4, and I know that I will have to play also Rogue until I get into the actual PS4 first Assassin's Creed, because yeah, Black Flag was PS4, but also it was cross-gen still, so it was kind of made still for PS3 as well. So it's not fully next gen yet, you know.
Right.
So the Unity, oh god, Unity and its bugs, but Unity will be the first actual, you know, PS4 only, you know, kind of the one.
Right.
But it's a long freaking road to it, and my god, it just, I am trying to like it, but the mission structures and what you do in the world is just so basic.
Right.
It just not gets me.
Right? And I don't think it's gonna get any better with those either. Like, it seems like the Assassin's Creed team, they just want to keep doing the same things over and over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that any new ones are gonna be much. I did like the Valhalla one, just because I'd like the.
You know, the thing is about the trilogy, the newest trilogy, what I call it, the Origin, Odyssey, and Valhalla. When Origin changed completely the feel of the game, because you do it a bit different.
I don't think I played the Origin. I didn't play the Origin one yet.
I played a little bit of it before I decided no, I have to take it from the beginning, because I wanted to see how they made it different, at least, you know. But you know, the funny part is that even when Ubisoft is trying to change something, they have to copy somebody else. The Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla, is only because the Witcher started because they wanted their own Witcher. They saw it being successful, so suddenly we have a level. Suddenly we have the side quests and stuff that never before mattered. And lots of games did that actually. Even Far Cry, for Christ's sake, a game where you have a gun, a bullet into a head, supposed to work. Far Cry New Dawn, it had levels, so headshot didn't work anymore because your pistol was not strong enough level. It didn't make any sense, but they wanted to just change everything into that. And
right. No, I get it. Like, I was, like, honestly, like I played the original Assassin's Creed like years ago, you know, and it was too grindy for me. It was like too much walking. The stealth thing was kind of hard. It was clumsy, and then my son introduced me to Black Flag like a few years back, and I really enjoyed that one. But the games were so expensive, and I was working so much, I just never got back into it. Then recently, with the Game Pass, it's like you can play pretty much any one of them you want for like. I think I'm paying $50 for 3 months, and I play whatever I want, you know?
In a way, I get, like, PS Plus got actually way better, like the extra one, because, like, for a person who never had a library, this is great. Ubisoft is partner with it, so you have most of the Assassin's Creed as well there. So there's that. But for somebody who never really got into the library, you don't even need to buy a game, because if you get the extra, you have a lot of good games even. Like, there's a lot of, you know, questionable things, but still, you have a large amount of God of War, you have a Last of Us, you have a lot of it. So, most important game. But for me, it's not having really a point, and I like to own stuff. I know that buying something digital is not really exactly...
You don't own it. You don't own it because you can just... They just take it away when they don't want you to have it.
You bought a license to use it. But most of the time, Sony has a good track record not ever touching whatever you pay for.
Right.
The only one when it happened, and we didn't have this service here, This was America and Asia only. You had on PS3 like
Could end up being useful.
movie section. You could buy a movie through the PlayStation, which they brought back just like yesterday. But basically what happened was that Studio Canal, the based company, started to watch how Netflix is going good, HBO Max and stuff like that, and they wanted to do their own subscription thing. So they basically ordered everybody else that was ever digitally selling their movies to remove them, and not only remove them from the show. The service got already, dropped. So yeah, but you could actually access your games still. You bought them, you had them in your library. Studio Canal deleted.
That's irritating. That's irritating. When you pay money for something, you're supposed to own it. But I did enjoy back in the day where you just bought discs. You know what I mean? Because you just always like I have a decent, not a huge library, but I got like probably 20, 30 games in discs for PS3 and PS4. You know. And you can't take that away from me, Nobody can just wipe it out of your machine because you have a hard copy,
Like with the games, I'm kind of happy because usually this doesn't happen. Like the only one that I can remember now from my head and it stirred actually quite a waters was the Crew one from Ubisoft. They deleted it even from the libraries. It was. Like I get it, it's an online only game. Without online connection, you don't get to play. But then again, the people could make their own servers back on the PC, right? So they forbid that. Basically, they just got it away from them, and there was they had to face some suing, some lawyers because of it. So games are kind of safe. If you, not counting that they have to, like Activision have to put down Spider-Man's, what they created before, because they lost the license to make them exclusive.
Right.
Just like we have an Insomniac Spider-Man, right? So they have to stop selling them, but
right.
they never delete them if you did bought them.
Right.
So there is still this fair thing about it, that if you got it back then, you still have it.
Right.
But the biggest problem is with the movies, because subscriptions like Netflix, they don't sell it. They just give you the license to watch it, and then whenever they decide, they can take it away. That's why I started to collect movies. I am ordering them from England because screw the Czech way of doing movies. It's horrible. No, you don't want that. So I started to collect things from the England, and no FBI agent shows up at my door and takes my movies away because of license issues. And it's even better because I heard many times that there is a show called Life on Mars, which is English show. They lost the license for music that was in there. So basically, if you didn't bought the DVD version, what you see on subscription is changed. They had to change music. That means they changed the feel of the scene.
Right.
And the intent why the scene was made. That's horrible. You don't want that.
No.
So
no, you don't.
In the same time, you are preserving the original feel of it by buying it and having it. Yeah, it takes a space. We get it. But is it really that horrible?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's same thing as like Star Wars. Like, I'm a Star Wars fan. Like, you may not be, but like, now if you went and bought a copy of that movie from Walmart now, it's not the same thing as it was. It's not the same movie. You know what I mean?
I know about the Jabba the Hutt CGI.
Yeah,
and,
a few things.
The classic Emperor, obviously. Like, yeah, I know about these things. Like, they changed quite a bit, and it was already back when DVD was in the George Lucas was doing the special edition, right?
Right.
Changed quite a bit. So I get, especially the, oh my god, we want more practical things. Like, look at the Thing, for example. Nobody wants that CGI. and the fight the other thing.
Right.
Because it was simplified. So yeah, of course we want that old stuff. Although I get it, at least in the point of the Emperor, the Palpatine, that they changed him so he would match with the other actor. That at least makes sense.
Well,
right?
well, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't mind that as much because it's like at least George Lucas, it was something that he wanted to do. He just didn't have the technology to do it back then.
That's
so I can
thing,
get
yeah.
that. But like now Disney owns things, so they can change anything they want, you know. And
yeah.
and
what is it? What is her name? Caitlin Kennedy.
Caitlin
runs it.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. She's ruining everything. Kathleen Kennedy, that's what her name is. She's ruining everything.
By the way, I'm kind of an encyclopedia for me, so don't worry. If you say something, I probably would hear about it because I'm into it a lot. So, and my fiance is a lot into the Star Wars. I was always Battlestar Galactica. For me, that is the peak of sci-fi, more than Star Trek or Star Wars. But that's again, that's a preference.
I like Star Trek too. I'll say like I enjoy Star Trek now better than I do Star Wars, just because you know I think it's better. I mean I think Star Wars was the original. You know I'm 53 years old, so when I was 6, that was all the sci-fi there was really. I mean there was Star Trek back then too, but it wasn't even close to as good as Star Wars was. You know.
Yeah.
So
I have to say, I'm lots of people will hate me for this opinion, but I'm a prequel-ist. I like prequels more than the classics, and the point is that as much as it's good, the old ones, they are very basic fairy tale. Like it's like, oh, this guy finds that he has a destiny, he has a teacher, okay, he is kind of like a sci-fi knight. Literally, he's a Jedi Knight, so basically.
Yeah.
Literally, right? He goes on an adventure, and he meets some, people around. He defeats the evil bad guy. What I like about prequels is that they set up politics, they set up more lore of how the galaxy even works. It's more complex.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. Because even the new ones did basically the back turn. Oh,
Something's making me feel tired.
So it's again another fairy tale and not a really great one at that. But the only like a more complex storytelling, if you don't count obviously that would be for whatever reason have to watch Anakin drive in a first movie for half of a movie. Okay, the race, amazing, lovely. But I like that there are problems in the universe. The Empire is not just the evil boogeyman. It's not just that. And the old ones, as much as they are good at what they do, they are that. They are just the movie sci-fi.
Thank goodness for that.
The twist of the sci-fi fairy tale. That's it.
Right. Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, I'll admit the prequels were better movies as far as like graphics and all that. Like they had way better technology to do it. So like they really made. I mean, like I can understand from your standpoint if you didn't grow up with Star Wars, as a kid.
Well, I did. Like it's not that I didn't grow up with it, and it's not a problem of the graphics. Like I love it, for example. That is a good example of a fantasy fairy tale that doesn't have a single graphic. It just plain and simple fairy tale, but it's very well done. Which doesn't mean that Star Wars are not very well done. But I think like I got into a point of life when I need more deeper storytelling than just fairy tale.
Right.
So again, it's not about the graphics, but it's about I was interested in that, the what is it called, the God damn it, the
prequels
of Naboo. Why is it happening? Why,
right.
The blockade, right? So why this
Confederation.
Yeah, wants to take over. Why is the Queen not wanting that? These things. I like that there is much more behind it than, oh, you have a destiny. Okay, lovely. We have a Spaceballs for that. So,
Right.
and by the way, they announced that they will do Spaceballs 2. Just, just
Right.
Mel Brooks thing, but yeah. So, I won't say that I'm into the chromosomes too much, or whatever the Qui-Gon Jinn was talking about.
Oh, the
Chloride.
media chlorides, yeah.
Yeah. That. Okay, there were missteps. Obviously, also the whole romantic thing in the, second episode.
Right.
And sometimes they a little bit overstate their welcome. But in the same time, you had a Count Dooku. I am so interested if they will ever do anything
Feeling so drained.
out of animation. Because
Right.
Count Dooku is a very interesting character. And that is the point. Because actually, the old Star Wars got way better for me while I finally saw the prequel.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. Like, I agree with you. I'm not one of the people. I didn't hate the prequels. I liked the prequels too. You know what I mean? Pretty much equally as I like the first ones. And to be honest with you, in many ways, it's more fun watching the prequels just because of the update and technology, and like you've seen a lot more action and the storytelling kind of thing. I like that. The things I don't like anything that came after. You know.
I did like a little bit of Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, I like that one. I did. Okay, I don't like the movies that came out after that. I like, other than like Rogue One was okay. That was not bad. That was pretty good. I don't like nothing to do with Rey. I think it was stupid to come out with it. I mean, like, yeah, exactly. I don't mind a female Jedi. I don't even mind if she's more powerful than Luke Skywalker. But I do mind that a person doesn't even believe in the Force, and then 20 minutes later she's doing mind tricks and commanding the Force like good enough to like defeat like Kylo Ren, who's been like Luke Skywalker's like Padawan for what, 10 years? Get out of here. You know what I mean? That makes no sense. You know, they forgot about the story arc. They forgot, they rushed it.
You do know the behind the scene kind of problems that they have.
Yeah,
like,
well, they had woke. It's wokeism is what it is. It's
not only that it's woke, but the fact that the other director that did the 8 started to do whatever he wanted to. He didn't even follow up the rules that was set by J.J. Abrams.
right.
Force Awakens. And he was like, no, I think this dumb, so I'm gonna change it. And then they had to bring J.J. Abrams
To fix it, to try to fix it.
Fix it. So how
Yeah, I
is
know.
the freaking stupid movie is just fixing it? And then you got so fast things, and they also force him to do safe stuff like, with the what was the name of the main Sith in the 8? The Andy Serkis played him. The mutated guy that was commanding Kylo.
Snoke.
Yeah, Snoke.
Yeah.
I thought he was actually kind of interesting, and it was venting somewhere, but because they didn't find it that it worked, so let's do the safe bet. Let's bring Palpatine out of nowhere back.
Right.
And as much as I like the guy, it does not make any fucking sense.
No, well, what they did is like everything that they everything she messed up, then everything they tried to do to fix it just broke it worse. You know what I mean? Like, cause you what they pretty much did by the end of that series, what they did is they took everything, the whole story that George Lucas told about like Luke Skywalker, you know, and Darth Vader's path to redemption, turning back into Anakin Skywalker at the end, and the whole prophecy of the chosen one. It was supposed to be Luke Skywalker was the chosen one, or you could even say that it was Darth Vader, because he did bring balance to the Force, and it threw the whole damn thing out of the window. Like none of it even mattered because the Emperor didn't die. You know what I mean? The Empire's still there. It's like, you know what I mean? It just threw the whole movie. It threw the entire trilogy away. Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
You know,
and what they did to
I-
Luke Skywalker's character, the way they made him like a coward like that, and they made him throw his lightsaber behind him, and you know, like
Yeah.
he was the most hopeful character there was, and they turned him into a hopeless schlub. It's like it's unforgivable what they did to that. It was an unkillable franchise, and they killed it.
I love the fact that whenever I talk with somebody about Star Wars, it's like this more important topic. Like that is the franchise that actually makes people be so, energized about it. Like,
Well, yeah.
You don't
You have a
hear
definite
about-
Well, I mean, most of us, like it was part of our childhood, like a decent sized piece of our childhood. You know what I mean? So when you start messing with that, you know what I mean? It gets people pissed. You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, well, other than that, I don't think too much about it one way or the other.
Oh no, I've been in my work. We have what we call sort of control guys that basically, when I'm there the whole day, we have from the security control guys that goes and asks everything okay, third time per day, and one of them loved Star Wars, so he stayed with me until he was called out or something for 5 hours talking about Star Wars and how stupid it is.
Oh, I know. Dude, honestly,
so-
think about this. I had more fun. I enjoyed people's commentary on how bad the new Star Wars were than I did. I had more fun watching people shit on it than I did watching it. That's how bad it was. Like there's probably people made more money from making content crapping on it than the people that made. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's whole YouTube channels that are out there making millions of dollars for Star Wars content that could have done a better job than that. You know, it's really sad.